All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash. I want to give double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. And Shalom, I'm going to salute to the hopefully elect. So, I was listening to Sergeant Willie Pete, and wow, man, he was going off. And he almost sounded like us at Great Millstone, Damn there, when we be talking about how Esau, they the biggest hypocrites on planet Earth, how they are the ones that cause Jake to err, but they don't hold themselves accountable. How and it's another key point too, and I witnessed this growing up. Well, not I can't say I saw it because I was born in the '80s, but when they built the highway through West Baltimore, and I'm gonna get the research too. I didn't realize it was a highway to nowhere because they didn't finish it first off, and they displaced 62 businesses. All right, most of them black-owned businesses in the Santown, Winchester area where I grew up in West Baltimore. So they do these things to Jake, then turn around and say, well, why y'all ain't got this and why y'all ain't got that? When they the ones that caused it, just like Black Wall Street. Jake was doing for himself. Jake was creating his own businesses. But soon as Jake do his own thing, here you come. You can't leave Jake alone. Esau, you got to creep your devilish ass in the mix. But then you act like you don't want to be around us. We can't come into your neighborhoods. Well, you don't want to leave us alone. So I'm going to go ahead and play. This is Sergeant Willie Pete. I'm not, this fair use. I'm not making any monetary gain off of this. I'm just playing your video. A couple minutes of it, I just want to play it because he was hitting on some key points. And then I'm gonna do some research, and then I'll go into some scriptures. Let's go. Drop everything. Drop everything. Drop it all the money. Drop all the money. You got it. You got it. Sure. Take it. Take it. Take everything. Take everything.
Scary moments for a couple in Illinois. They were ambushed by robbers while coming home from dinner. Doorbell video shows the moment when the suspects pointed guns in their faces. Authorities say 3 armed suspects got away with some clothing, jewelry, including the man's wedding band. Police are still looking for those suspects who got away in a Jaguar SUV. The man credits his Navy training for keeping calm.
I don't know how many times I have to say this. I do not care about black crime spilling into white communities. I do not care. I do not care. I do not care. Why don't I care? Because of everything the white community has done to the black community. Y'all could have been dealing with Gizmo, but instead now you got to deal with gremlins. You got to deal with niggas. I don't know what you don't understand about this. Like this whole idea and concept of black fatigue. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I had somebody who came over, says he's like a 23-year-old white male, and like, I don't even know what to believe at this point, because I do think that you do have white people who are too young to actually know the history, because we already know it's not taught in school. Like I said before, when it comes to white people want to start American history, especially American black history, in 1985. They don't want to go back any further than that. And these are the same people that run around and claim that they love history so much. Oh, they don't want you to take down the freaking, this statue and this World War II statue and this Civil War statue. Oh, they don't want to take down, the Founding Fathers statue. We're going to go all the way back to before the Revolutionary War. But somehow when it comes to black history prior to 1985, y'all don't want to talk about that. Okay? The bottom line is the white community has done everything in its power to cripple the black community, in particularly black men. I don't know what, like, when you talk about all this idea of black people so-called self-regulating and black men need to control the youth in the black community. We can't. I'll say that point blank, period. We can control black youth no more than the white oligarchs can control young white men when they're not offering anything, right? When young white men are not gainfully employed, what happens to young white men? They gravitate towards white supremacist groups. They get radicalized. They end up shooting up schools. They turn into mass shooters because they're mad at the world. What else goes on with white males? They join militia groups, anti-government groups. That's what happens when the society doesn't feed the wolves. So why is it any different in the black community? Black elders, older black men, they don't control the economic landscape of the community, right? White supremacy has successfully blocked black men out of being economically relevant to the members of their own community that they're supposed to, provide and take care of. That be their women and their children. So when you have the children that grow up and dad is not able to provide, what is the reason why they should respect the father, respect the men in the community, right? Like if you're a white man and you're racist and white men control the economic infrastructure, right? White men control the economic infrastructure, right? Do I have to argue that point? When you go and you look at all the Fortune 500 companies, right? White men control the economic infrastructure. Now, if white men are discriminating against black men, right, when it comes to that economic infrastructure being able to be gainfully employed in the private sector, that means what? Black men have no resources to bring back to their communities and maintain it or build it up. They have nothing to offer the young men in their own communities, right? And you'll say, oh, well, black people, why do y'all have to go and get jobs from white people? Why can't you create your own job? Black people already did that shit. Black men already did that shit. And what the fuck did white people do? See, this is the part that y'all don't want to talk about. When white people control the economic infrastructure, right? We had an apartheid country, right? White people over here, black people over there. So black people had to create their own. They had to supplement whatever they weren't getting from the white corporate infrastructure. They had to create on their own, which was actually advantageous to black people because then you ended up with black banks and black pharmacies and black grocery stores and a whole black infrastructure that black people controlled. The downside of that when it comes to white supremacy is the fact that they can now not control those black people in those situations. They have less control. See, the whole thing, when you talk about the welfare state and you talk about, black people being dependent, that is a mechanism of control by the hands of white supremacy. They don't want black independence. They don't want black self-sufficiency. If you go back and you look at all the videos of Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and all these black intellectuals in the 1960s, they were looking for black independence, at least the majority of them. But white supremacy didn't want black independence because black independence means that they can't control it. The so-called smart white people, the elite white people, would rather have a situation where black people were dependent on them. Yeah, it would cost them in terms of, freaking the money that they're throwing out, which the working class white people are like, oh my God, my tax dollars. But the elite white people are like, no. We'd rather have them be dependent than be independent because when they're independent, we have no fucking leverage. So this is why they did everything in their power to undermine the black community. Oh, when black men went off and they had their own business districts like Black Bottom in Detroit, what did they do? They ran fucking I-375 right through the motherfucker. Right? When you had Central Ave in Tampa, what did they do? They ran I-4 right through the motherfucker, right? Goes from Tampa all the way up to Orlando and ends at like Daytona Beach, right? Ran the highway right.
Yeah, and when he talk about that, the area where I grew up at, going 10, I would say not even 10 blocks down, maybe about 5 blocks south, is where they ran this highway through a neighborhood called Sandtown Winchesters. Now let's look it up. Hold on. Okay, now this is the neighborhood right here where you see this highway at. It was supposed, now the city, from what I heard, this highway was supposed to go from West Baltimore to the all the way at the end of West Baltimore, all the way through East Baltimore to 95, but they never finished the project. The project. Now, if you look at this area right here, this is a huge area. This is a huge area, and it's more it's more like massive when you are actually like on the street. So what Sergeant Willie Pete was saying was correct. They ran highways, and the elders and apostles have been saying this for years. Esau, they ran highways through all throughout America, throughout black communities, disabling the community, certain thriving communities that had black businesses. They purposely ran these highways. A lot of these highways, they run to nowhere. Ultimately, it's the Lord, because we're referring to Deuteronomy, but we gotta show you where the accuser. We gotta show you what the sources. So let me hold on. Okay, it says before the Franklin Mulberry Expressway, also known as the Highway to Nowhere, was built, West Baltimore was thriving. All right. Connected community. It was densely populated area with homes, businesses, churches, and a school, all interconnected. The expressway, built in the 1970s, demolished 20 city blocks, displaced approximately 1,500 residents. That's a lot. And resulting in the demolition of 971 homes. Guess what? And 62 businesses. And you better believe those businesses most likely were black businesses. Because around the 60s and 70s, Jake, had those stores up in New York and Harlem and all that. So this not only went on in Baltimore, this went on throughout all the other cities. It seemed like Esau, when they make a strike, they do it all over. They do it everywhere. If they do something in the 60s, or if they do something in the early 1900s, they're going to do it all over, everywhere. Just like Black Wall Street, that happened around the late 1800s, early 1900s. Not only did it happen down Florida and down Oklahoma, it happened all over. If you sit there and do the research. So I just wanted to show you right there. Look, it says a 50-year journey down the highway to nowhere. So when they did these, built a lot of these highways and expressways, they did it to dismantle the black community. And this right here is a prominent black community in Baltimore where they built this expressway. I grew up in this neighborhood. All right, look at this. It's just it's just a freeway built just to go like it's just like what did you? It's like they didn't even finish it. I don't know what their plans was. Like I said, I believe they planned it to run through the black community and to 95, but they didn't even get halfway because it was supposed to run all across Orleans Street and through Dunbar. So they would have tore down all those buildings, Dunbar, John Hopkins. But guess what? John Hopkins, you would have to go around that. because that's a staple in Esau society. That John Hopkins, man. So let's play a little bit more SWP Sergeant Willie P video.
Motherfucker, right? Goes from Tampa all the way up to Orlando and ends at like Daytona Beach, right? Ran the highway right. Why didn't they run the shit through the white community? Because they weren't going to do that, right? You got Robert Moses, that designed, many of the highways on the East Coast, made low bridges going out to Long Island so that the buses couldn't go out there because they didn't want niggas on going to the beach, right? So you've blocked out black men, both in terms of establishing their own businesses and providing for their own community, and the occupational hierarchy. You blocked them out of both. So at that point, you might as well say you don't want black people to exist. It's not a matter of, behavior. Again, you don't want them in the corporate spaces. You don't want to have to offer them economic opportunities, right? There's some white people who will say we only want to offer economic opportunities to our own, or we're only going to benefit our own first. Okay, fine. But then when black people go off and try to create their own, you undercut that. So what is left? Nothing. So at that point, yeah, deal with these fucking Glocks in your face. Deal with these home invasions. Deal with these carjackings. See, what you want is a well-behaved, poor black populace. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. You're going to get young black men, young black teenagers running up in your shit. Running up in your shit. And at the very worst case scenario, a black insurgency. That's what the fuck you're going to get. I'm tired of white people talk like you literally suck all the oxygen out of the room, and then you stand there talking about why can't you breathe? You attack it from both ends. Right? You say, oh, black people, why don't you create your own? Why are you out here begging for a job? Yo, black people go and create their own, and then you run highways through the bitch. Or you burn the community down for whatever fucking flimsy-ass justification you can come up with. And then you're surprised that today you got to deal with niggas. You're surprised about that shit. Take these motherfucking carjackings. Take these motherfucking home invasions. I do not care. I don't care what the YNs are doing. I don't care what the young niggas are doing. You're not going to see me online. See, there was a point in time where I would have been one of the voices been like, oh, and black people, we have to do better and blah, 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 blah. That would have been me when I first came online. But after being online for all of these years and breaking this shit down and doing my own research and studying and all the history and everything else, I see that basically white people just don't want black people to exist. And they're too cheap and they're too lazy to send the black people back to Africa like they should have after slavery ended. You guys create your own problems because you don't deal with it when you should have dealt with it. You don't want to pay reparations. You don't want to send the black people back to Africa. You don't want to hire them, but you don't want them to create their own economic opportunities to where they would be competing against your businesses in the economic marketplace. Fuck you. Take these motherfucking carjackings. Take that shit. Take these robberies. Take these motherfucking home invasions. I'm like, what do you want us to do? I mean, you might as well just say it. We just want black people to die and not exist. That's what we want. That's literally what you want. Because you don't want to hire black men so that they can provide for their families, since you want to talk about Judeo-Christian patriarchal orientation. You don't want to do that. Then when it comes to black men, trying to establish their own communities, you don't want them doing that either because you can't control it. Even if they do it like way over there. You say, oh, black people, y'all, we need to separate and y'all need to go way over there. But when black people go way over there, you seem to not be able to leave them the fuck alone. You just can't leave them alone. You're like the fucking vampires in Sinners. The niggas go and they create their own shit. They got the juke joint. They're like, okay, we doing this just for black people since white people got the shit excluded. Like my man at the door said, y'all got, or who said it? It was a smoke. You know, y'all got freaking, you know, the whole of Jackson, Mississippi, or wherever the hell it, Biloxi, Mississippi. Y'all got the whole literal city to go to where y'all can do your little shindig and do your Irish jig and everything else like that. Why the fuck are you over here? Why are you over here? You don't want us around y'all, right? You say, when around blacks, never relax. But yet, you all always find your way around blacks when blacks are not trying to fucking be around you. You always seem to find your way in our space, in our vicinity, right? You know, it's like, and I think, I mean, whatever, white insecurity, I don't fucking know. It's like white people, they cannot exist without feeling some sense of superiority or creating a dynamic of some superiority or trying to regulate black people. That's why I'm like, you know what? Take these motherfucking carjackings. Let Pookie, let these young niggas just run up in your shit until y'all get so fearful that you stop fucking coming around us. You stop fucking with us. Damn. I mean, it's like you could, like, America could have been in like a racial utopia if y'all would just fucking allow it. Oh, we had the black people as slaves. Give them their fucking reparations. Okay, let them form their own communities, and we will trade with them as need be. Okay, we'll interact with them as BB, but they live over there. We live over here. Okay. In other words, if it's gonna be the separate, then let it be separate but equal. But no, y'all don't want to do that shit. Y'all don't want to do that shit. You want to create black dependency, but then you hate black dependency, right? Then you turn around and say that you want black people to be independent, but then you hate black independence. What the fuck do you want? You fucking psychos. What the fuck do you want?
Hey, because, hey, he was going off on, he was going off. He was going in on this particular video. If you want to, let me, hold on. Yeah, if you want to see the rest of this, it's on Sergeant Willie Pete channel. It's called Black Fatigue. This is part 2. So you got a part 1, part 2, and part 3. Yeah. Part 3. I was listening to part 3 as well. Yeah, because these people are our enemies. Let's go to the scriptures. Because if you read, when you read the scripture, the Lord, let's go to 48, and the 28th chapter. It says, therefore shall thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he should put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So I hear sometimes Black Ram and other guys say, hey, why can't Jake do stuff on their own? They did it. They did. They did it plenty of times. You know, when Jake say, oh, I'm going to go over here and do my own thing. Here comes Esau. Here comes the so-called white man. Right? So Jake tried everything under the sun. And the thing is, which y'all don't understand, a lot of people don't understand, is what the elect will understand, but y'all can't understand that it's the Lord is the one that's in control. So he is the one that's allowing this devil to do what he do until he put a end to it. And it's soon. The end coming. A lot of guys know this. They know that the Lord is going to return real soon. They know it. And that's when your rulership gonna come. But we ain't on our time. All right. The Lord ain't gonna come back on your time. He's gonna come back on his time. The Most High, the Lord don't even know when he's coming back. We know it soon, but when your father is giving you a whipping or punishing you, you can't determine what time he's gonna stop. He's gonna stop on when he feels though it's you had enough. And that's how the Most High is doing. You know? Of course it was meant to hurt. Of course we don't like it. Because we're being punished. You know? But we are the chosen because we match up with the prophecies. And it's a faith thing more than anything. You know? It's a faith thing. It's all about the elect. Yeah, so let's go to we can go to Malachi. Let's go to Malachi chapter 1. It says verse 2, I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein has thy loved us? Because that's what Jake's main issue is. Like the Most High taking us through all this hell, allowing this white man to beat us up and do all this crap to us. How you love us, Lord? It says, was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I love Jacob, and I hated Esau, the so-called white man, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons in the wilderness. Let me say this. For the amount of pain and drama that we've been going through, that you Jakes feel as though you're going through, you catch a hell. But that's nothing compared to what the Lord is about to give us. You can't even imagine. That's how great the Lord is going to bless us. Right now, we under Esau's blessings. So it's supposed to hurt. We under the curses and all that. So you might say, oh, the Lord is dealing with Esau and all that. Yeah, on the left-hand side. But your blessing is about to come soon. And it's going to be far greater, way, way, way greater. You're going to look back and you're going to be like, well, that wasn't nothing compared to what the Lord gave us. Yeah, because we his children. We the sons of the living power. So the Lord going to spoil us in the kingdom. You know? So y'all Jake's crying about that, the things that you're going through and all that. That ain't nothing compared to what the Lord is about to bless us with. You're going to look back and you're going to be like, oh, shit. We had to go through that compared to what we going to get here? Especially if you part of the elect. You're going to be in rulership. The Rothschilds and the Oppenheimers and what are the other ones? The Rockefellers. Man, we're going to be living 100 times better than them. The Yahweh Shah said he's going to give you 100-fold. If you ain't got no girl on this side, he's going to give you 100-fold. And that's any amount of number. That can go far past that. That's just an example. That's just a estimate. You see? So the Lord said he loves us. We got to endure. It's something that we just have to do, you know. So I hope this was edifying to the body. Let's finish this out. This Malachi chapter 1 in verse 3, it says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Wherein Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So the Lord is about to whip up on Esau. Just wait, you know, just in due time. His butt whipping is about to come, you know. So Lord willing, this is edifying. Till again, shalom.